So this one's a new one. It's a Sunn beta lead or bass. So there's going to be a switch where you can switch it between lead or bass. It's got a whopping 76 cuts on it, which I've just been spending the last 25 minutes doing. To which I've done all 76 cuts in this vero board, and then I'm going to start building it. The reason I want to make this one is because I want to go through all of the Sunn pedals that are online and just make them all. So I've done the Acapulco Gold style, I've done the Sunn Buzz, this is a Sunn Beta lead. I want to do the Sunn Model T as well, just to test them up against each other, see what the different sounds are like. They're based on vintage amps, which I like, so I'm going to give this one a go and see what it's like. It's quite a big project. It's 30 by 30 holes. It's got 4, 5, 6 ICs in it, including one of the 14-pin ICs. So it's got a lot of work on it, which it should look really nice when it's done. It should be a really full board of components on there. So I'm going to get this one all set up and give it a test. As you can see, I've got in all 38 jumper links into this board, and I've started to put a few of the resistors in as well, while I was waiting for my ICs to come on order. Here they all are. So I like to use these ones that they've got more of a flat top to them, and the legs seem to be a little bit longer, because when you're putting them on top of the jumpers, you want them to go in and to be able to see the other side so that you can solder them. Sometimes if you've got a jumper in the way and the IC socket is one of the cheaper ones, the legs don't come through, and then you're going to get problems with the connections. So I've got 6 IC sockets to put in here, and I'm going to do that next so that they're in, and then I'll just start putting all the resistors in. So I start with the smallest components first and build your way up to like capacitors and things like that. I'll put in the IC sockets, but I don't put in the ICs until the very end, just because you just don't want them either, getting damaged, or you're going to be turning this over and pressing on it and stuff, so you just want to put them in at the end. There's actually no transistors on this board. It's just ICs and diodes and capacitors and resistors. So I'm actually glad there's no transistors on there, because a lot of the time with things like this and they've got transistors, I find it kind of hard to find sometimes online. Anyway, I'm going to get these ICs in, and then I'm going to continue populating the board with the resistors and everything. Okay, so all the IC sockets are in now. That's 5 in total. I'm quite happy with it, where they went in. Now about to start putting in all the resistors for this one. There's quite a few diodes as well. I'm not sure I've got everything, but basically what I do, I just put everything in that I've got, and I cross it off on the sheet, and then anything outstanding that I need, I either go look on the internet for the bits, go to the shop, look for the bits. So it's like kind of quite a long process of getting different things, but I've got like 5 other projects that I've got working as well, so I'm never not busy on a pedal. Okay, so I've got a 4-pole double throw switch here, toggle switch. I've never used one of these before, so I've had to research about it. So it's an on and on switch, so whichever position you've got it, it's on here and it's on there. There's no off, so it's either does one thing or it does another thing. So in this case, I've got it for to switch a foot pedal from lead to bass. So it's either on bass or it's on lead, and it switches that way and that way. So that's the way it is. Underneath, we've got 12 poles. So I had to figure out which one was which. So I've just drawn a little diagram here for anybody who doesn't know or wants to know what the numbers are on a 4-pole double throw toggle switch. So they go from down here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, like that. And then you just wire it up according to this. That's like that. Right, so I just set up my 4-pole double throw. I'm not sure if that's completely right, but correct me if I'm wrong. But I think that's the way I'm going to do it. I think it's right. Okay, so I've finished the board. This is what it looks like. It's got everything on it. So now I just need to do my wiring. I'm going to start with my 9-volt ground input and output leads. I'll deal with the switch later. And then I've got all my potentiometers. So I've got 4 here. I've got treble, middle, bass, and level, and drive. And my drive's got it's dual potentiometer, so it's got 6 connectors on it. I think we actually use 5 of the 6 on here. So I'm going to wire this all up and get it tested, see if it works. If it doesn't work, you won't be seeing this video. Okay, that's usually the way it works. So I put in all 29 wires. There's a lot on this one. This is a bit of a beast of a pedal, but we've got a drive, treble, middle, bass, level, and a switch. So that's all in there. I'm just going to get the potentiometers and the switch on, and then I can do some testing. As usual, I've got it all wired up to my test box. We've got the drive, the treble, middle, bass and level switch, and then we've got the bass and the lead switch. I'll do a full demo, but at the moment I just want to see if it works. So I'm just going to on standby my guitar. That's the lead, and the bass. Probably be better to try it on a bass guitar, but works. Not a lot of feedback coming off it, which is good. It's a very quiet pedal. I don't know why that is, but that's cool. So there we have it. I mean, am I that blown away by it? I don't know, I have to test it at full volume. I think those capacitors, because they're not low leakage capacitors, it's making things sound a little bit weird, I think. I might have to swap those out at some point. But at the moment it works, and yeah, when you whack up everything up high, it kind of breaks up and sounds weird. So I don't know what's going on there. Possibly to do with those capacitors there. It might mean that I have to swap them out at some point. But it's going to get boxed up, and I'll do a proper test of it, and hopefully I'll do a studio test of it where I go into the rehearsal studio and test it out. So I've had to do a pretty super duper quick drill job on this container enclosure. I just ran out and bought it today because I wanted to use this Sunn pedal in my rehearsal tomorrow. My rehearsal starts at 7 PM, so I've got a good amount of time to get this boxed up. So I've got the stomp switch here, middle, bass, treble, level, distortion, LED, and then the switch between the bass and the lead. I'm going to put like some nice design here, like the Sunn logo or something like that. And then I've got the top loading input and output jacks, the DC as well. I've spent a lot of time measuring bits, measuring things, so I do know that it's all going to work. What was a bit of trouble is that because this is a dual gang potentiometer, slightly higher, slightly thicker than normal potentiometers, so you have to be careful. So when the jacks go in, they're going to stick out down here. You're going to make sure that they're going to, you know, be been in there while the jack goes in there. So I've moved it down a little bit just away from the jack inputs, because I've had this problem before when I was making my Tube Screamer rat pedal. Okay, what I usually do with boxing up is I'll just do a little test where I'll just chuck everything in the holes and make sure everything fits. This is actually a really tight fit. I mean, I've got it to fit, but it's really tight. I've had to just move the board around because I've got this big capacitor in here that was rubbing on the switch, and obviously I'm going to have some piece of plastic, or I'm going to have to tape the back of the box so it doesn't short the box. I'm pretty confident it's going to be okay. I mean, unfortunately I did make my wires a little bit too long, so I've got a lot of wire inside there. I'm pretty confident that it's gonna be done, but I just don't know if I'm gonna get it done in time for tomorrow. So my beta lead pedal didn't want to go in its box. I put it in the box and just started shorting out. So just for the purposes of this test, I've just hooked it up to my test box like I usually do. It's all bent and busted from being in a box, but it's okay, it still works. So it's just on my pedal board at the minute. I'm going basically just straight through into the amp detonator, which goes to the Marshall JCM on one channel, and then going through to the orange micro dark with this one here. I've got two SM57s, and it's going straight into Logic through that mixing desk as well. The microphones are going through the mixing desk. Let's give it a test.